Hello, everybody. It's Dina again, and we're talking more about the Scars to Stars book and our launch on February 22nd. And now I have Deb with me to share a little bit about her chapter and what she wrote about. So, Deb, take it away.
Thanks, Dina. My chapter is about how the pandemic brought suicide full circle for me, from personal attempts to the loss of many friends, and how it affects the families of suicide survivors, and how it all kind of changed for me due to an recent incident with suicide.
Yeah, I know your story is so impactful for me as a suicide survivor because you get to see what your loved ones might have to go through if you succeed, you know. And I think it's it's a hot topic in the world of suicide because a lot of people think that it's a selfish act, and I don't think that's necessarily true, but I definitely understand how people who love you can feel that way. So I think your story gives people a lot of perspectives that each of us in our own silo don't see or think about.
Yeah, it was an amazing event that happened. It was probably the worst day of my life, but yet then it wound up being one of the best days. So tragedy turned into um, something wonderful for me. That's when my life began, right? And that's when I knew that it was time for me to branch out and join events like this.
Mhm.
And what you're doing with Scars of Stars is just amazing, especially from the suicide standpoint, because the pandemic has hit many people a lot in different facets, right? From job loss to depression because you can't get out and see people. So I think it's even more prevalent than we ever knew.
Mm.
It just highlights it, right? Because people are so secluded.
Yeah, it's so true. I've said this on several videos, but we have thousands of organizations in the world who work in the suicide prevention arena, and I think they're all valuable and they all do great work. But I don't think any of them are reducing the statistics because they have been growing for decades. So my feeling was, what can we do to change that? What can we do to keep people alive and let them know that they're not alone? And Scars to Stars from the beginning, whether it was the event or the summits or now the book, it was all about that, getting people to connect so they know they're not alone and they understand a story, a personal story from someone they can relate to. And how did you get through this? And maybe that will help me. And also just the personal connection and support. And that's what all of this is about.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I was led to your Scars to Stars event, and by doing so, it gave me the courage to actually become one of your speakers and share my story. And then when you every time you share your story in a secure setting, what happens? Your shame goes away, and you're more willing to be vulnerable because we're around people who are just like you. You know, they might not have the exact same story, but what happens is you relate to each other and you become a community, and you back each other up. So when this event or the book event came to be, I was excited because I knew the exact story that had to be told, one that surprised even myself. And having been somebody who's been in therapy for probably 30 years of my life, I think I became kind of complacent, thinking, well, I am cured. Well, after this event, it made me realize that I really didn't deal with everything. Okay. I had to go back and revisit those dark moments after the event happened. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm so thankful that we were introduced like over a year ago, I guess it was. and that you were part of the events that we did. And we hope to do many more of them. And we hope to, save lives and change lives and build a better, bigger community and support each other. And I think I've been working on this for 2 years, and I'm just so glad that it's finally happening, and it is finally changing lives, and people are really excited about what we're doing and how we can help people maybe in their lives that are hurting. And so the other question I have for you, Deb, is, and you've talked a little bit about it, I guess, but being part of this book project, um, whether it's the community that has been the most impactful for you, or whether it was, the healing that came from writing your story, or whatever part you want to talk about, but just what is this project in general meant to you personally?
This has been an extremely exciting project for me to take part in. And not only via the community, right? The community is very strong and very supportive, and um, just a neat event and all the people you get to meet, right? So many people like you. Everybody's story is different, it's unique, but we all embrace each other. And I think that's what we need to do as a community outside of there, right? Um, and just when you think your story is horrible, you can meet somebody else who might have had a different story that's even worse than yours, and you go, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
Um, not that that's a great thing, but it also helps you to gain a little compassion, right? And to be gentle on yourself and accept that yes, I've made mistakes. And you see somebody else who's made mistakes and they're forgiving themselves, and you kind of look at yourself, why can't I forgive myself, right? Um, and I think by writing my story and sharing it, it not only has made me a better person, but my story, if it's only read by one person and they
Mhm.
get value out of it, I've done what I'm supposed to do with this, right?
Yes.
So I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I'm glad that you kept with it and made this happen.
Well, thank you. I'm excited that everyone that is part of this project has been in my life at least for the last year or two during this whole, pandemic and stressful time. And those of you who don't know, I was so busy with the business before the pandemic, I didn't have time to even think about my own mental health. And then after COVID and closing my business, this is just my whole new life's purpose after I uncovered all the things from my past that I had been hiding for so long. So it's been a journey for me personally, as well as all of you and other people that have been involved in some of the events and stuff. And so it's just it just validates what I think my new purpose in life is, and I'm super happy about it because, using our scars to help other people is something that, is unique to each one of us, and it's also a gift that we've been given that can help other people overcome something similar. And it's just when you can finally get to a point where you're healed enough to realize that it's a gift and what to do with it. It's like, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain that feeling, but it's like you go from what Lisa said, like from why me to what's next. Like focusing on what's next, focusing on the solutions and how do I get to the next level and what do I do? And for me, helping other people is what helps me.
Yeah, I think we are beginning to embrace our journey, and taking and looking at it for what it really is. It's a blessing. So whether you have a lot of jobs in your life or you've had a lot of heartache, I think it's all makes us who we are. And by giving us an opportunity to share, I think we're gonna make a huge difference.
I know we are, and I'm so thankful for you. Um, and that you're in my life and you're in this project and that we get to talk periodically and catch up.
Yeah.
And just for everybody watching, excuse me, we're going to have a book launch event on February 22nd at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that event is going to be about an hour and a half. I know everybody wants to know what the time commitment is. So that's what it is. And all the authors will be there, and we'll be sharing more about the book and the purpose of the book, which is to fund the Realize Foundation, which is all about suicide prevention. And my theory is that conversation, community, and personal story is what is going to change the suicide statistics. And if we can get that message out to the world, then we're all doing something good. So I'm going to share a graphic with all of you and take our videos out of the way so you can see it, about the book launch, and then we will put a link below this video so you can sign up free at Eventbrite, and we hope to see you there.